It's recording.
Okay. Okay, first of all, thank you for coming here today to help me complete my homework assignment. I've been tasked with doing an informative speech for my communications class to post on YouTube for my instructor to view. So it's an online class, so go ahead and do that. So I just wanted to thank you guys for that. And here we go. Shh, get out. So to begin, I want all of you to close your eyes as I introduce you to 14-year-old hotshot Khadijah Collins. So close your eyes. Khadijah is a native of Dorchester, Massachusetts, and she's a handful, but she is one of your best students. She's a feisty and intelligent young African-American 8th grader, and she has the desire to one day fly the planes that she sees in her science classes. Khadijah likes to read, but often winds up talking to her friends and distracting them because she's done with her classwork early. She also likes sports a lot, and she is the star player on her school's basketball team. She is always the one encouraging and rallying her teammates, and is definitely one of the clear leaders on the team. Khadijah has already considered the military as a possibility, which scares her mother half to death. In fact, her mother has said, whatever you want to do, it better involve some college. In fact, it will if you're under this roof. Khadijah has told you about this conversation and seems to be pretty disappointed by it. She thought that the military was her way into the pilot world. What can she do now? How can you help her? You can open your eyes now. Khadijah represents the students in your class that may have a desire to have a career in the military, but don't exactly know how to go about it. They want to balance their desires with getting a degree, but may not have the family in the military, so the whole concept of doing something like that is totally foreign and unknown to them. It's kind of a scary place. This is where you can come in. The reason I'm standing before you today is to introduce you to an educational opportunity that students can have through the military in military academies, specifically United States Air Force Academy. I'm just here to give you some information about the academy and let you know that this opportunity can be available to students like Khadijah if she applies herself. But the process is rigorous and is something that she'll need to know about before she encounters this endeavor. You might have heard of schools like West Point, the Army's college, of course the Naval Academy, but also the newer of the three, the Air Force Academy. The point of all of these schools is to train up students in a military environment to have them emerge in 4 years with an accredited college degree, and with the training to be a future leader in the associated military branch the school is involved with. The Air Force Academy is actually the newest of the big three, and as a commission was established in 1948 to study the other current service academies to serve as a foundation for the building of the Air Force Academy. Eventually, Congress and President Eisenhower agreed that the permanent location of the Air Force Academy would be in Colorado Springs, Colorado. So in 1955, the first class of Air Force cadets began at the temporary site, Lowry Air Force Base in Denver, Colorado. In 1958, the entire student body called the Cadet Wing moved down to the permanent site in Colorado Springs. Soon after, the Academy gained its academic accreditation in time to recognize its first class of students in 1959. Now, the Air Force Academy is not your normal college. Besides the fact that students will wear a uniform to school every day and attend basic training before they even start the first day of school, they have a 5-year commitment to the military after they graduate, too. So the Air Force Academy is all that, but it's also recognized as an academically elite school. In 2011, Forbes rated the Air Force Academy number 10th in the nation on the America's Best Colleges list, right behind number 9, MIT. USACA also ranked ahead of academic powerhouses Northwestern, Duke, Brown, Rice, and even Boston College. Not only that, every student who attends the Air Force Academy receives a full scholarship, approximately valued at over $400,000. This sum also includes the use of student stipends, room and board, meals, all summer programs, and opportunities to travel to active duty Air Force's bases in the summer. But not only that, you can also learn how to fly a glider, even jump out of planes at 10,000 feet in the air, and learn how to do acrobatics, all through the United States Air Force Academy. Students also have the opportunity to play Division I sports and teach you how to, Sorry, that's my fault. So they also have the opportunity to play Division I sports. Now, because the Air Force Academy has everyone on scholarship and has a multitude of opportunities, it's extremely selective, an involved process for admission. Because many aspiring students realize this fact too late, they miss the potential opportunity for any military academy. The journey of applying to a military academy starts in the early high school years and even in middle school, as half the battle is knowing what it takes to get there. The most important thing to understand about military academies is that they all embrace the whole person concept. Not only do they want applicants to possess certain GPAs and test scores, they also want them to demonstrate versatility by also being involved in school clubs, sports, and demonstrating leadership by being a captain of a team or a president of a school activity. Other activities outside of school are factored in as well. This is important because if you're a student starting to do these things in only your senior year, it's already too late. The admissions board wants to see sustained activity throughout the high school years. Students can be really strong in academics or athletics, but being strong in either of those categories alone will not get you into the Air Force Academy or any military academy. For teachers and counselors, letting students like Khadijah Collins know these expectations as early as middle school or even freshman year in high school can steer them to be able to have the options to compete to get into service academies if that's something that they later decide they want to do. The first thing to do is to determine the eligibility of the student. Is he or she a U.S. citizen? Are they unmarried with no dependents? Will they be at least 17 to 23 years old by the time they would end the Air Force Academy? This person must also be of good moral standing without any type of criminal record or offense. These are the things that teachers can find out before even approaching a student about this opportunity. It also provides an aspiring student incentive to keep their nose clean and excel. If the student shows interest that an academy is something they would want to look into, the next suggested step is also putting them in contact with their local admissions liaison officer, or ALO, as soon as possible. The ALO can answer questions about the admissions process or about life in the Air Force in general. Also, later on, an interview with an ALO is required in the admissions process, so developing a good relationship with the ALO is to the student's advantage. Fast forwarding to a student's junior year, a student can submit a pre-candidate questionnaire as early as March 1st with their personal information, their name, their address, the name of the high school, and their class rank and GPA and standardized test scores. This information, along with questions about school activities and extracurricular activities, will determine if the student will be granted candidate status and sent a formal application to the Air Force Academy. At the same time the student is working on the pre-candidate questionnaire, they should also start the process of obtaining a nomination. Nominations are also competitive, and the majority of applicants will receive them in the categories of congressional or the vice president. Each member of Congress and the vice president can have 5 cadets at the Air Force Academy at a time. So for each cadet vacancy of the 5, a congressional member or the vice president can nominate 10 members for each of those vacancies. There are also other ways to obtain nominations, such as if the parent has served over 8 years in the military. It is recommended that the students research and apply to all categories in which they can receive a nomination, and no applicant will be accepted without one. The process of securing a nomination is lengthy and customized according to each congressman and potentially the vice president, which is yet another reason why students need to be made aware of this process as early as possible. In the pre-candidate phase, students will self-report GPA and class rank. In the candidate phase, students submit their actual transcripts and 3 teacher evaluations. If the student is in high school, one recommendation must be from their math teacher, one from an English teacher, and one from a teacher of their choice. The applicant must also fill out the candidate activities record to validate and receive credit for any activities they're doing in high school or any organizations outside of school or at work. Also, in order to qualify for any service academy, the applicant must take the candidate fitness assessment. The test is pass-fail and includes things like a basketball throw, pull-ups, push-ups, a shuttle run, and a 1-mile run. Additionally, as mentioned earlier, you with your local admissions officer is part of the process too. The student will also submit a written response to a prompt given in the pre-candidate online application. The personal interview and the written response are the 2 chances that the student gets to tell their story to themselves in their own words. As the Academy wants people of high moral character, the student also submits a form with a personal data record and a drug and alcohol abuse statement. This form outlines any past run-ins with the law in the form of arrest or citations. This is necessary for the student to obtain security clearance upon acceptance to a military academy. Lastly, a candidate for USAFA must also meet the medical and weight requirements to eventually be commissioned in the United States Air Force upon graduation of the academy. The student must submit a physical done by the Department of Defense Medical Review Board to determine medical qualification. Candidates must complete 3 out of the 5 last application steps in order for their name to be put on the list to get a physical. So that's the fitness assessment, the candidate personal data record, the candidate activities record, teacher's evaluations, or the writing sample. In conclusion, you can see that there's quite a process above and beyond what normal college is for all military academies, including the Air Force Academy. But now, if a student comes to you with specific desires, including wanting to be in the military, if they are one of the best and brightest, this is maybe a path that you can let them know about, expound and enlighten them on. The United States Air Force Academy is an amazing opportunity, but a path that students will never travel down unless made aware to at least give themselves a fighting chance. Thank you all for listening, and if you have any further questions, please see me afterwards.
You're so good.
What is the basketball throwing field?
It's basically just a strength test, I guess flexibility in your shoulders, but yeah. I don't remember what it was
How far
for.
you can throw it?
Yeah, I don't know, don't ask me. I have to So, the point of speech is supposed to be an informational speech. I'm not trying to persuade you or anything. So, it's like how to do something, explaining something.
What were the other instructions? It just that it has to be informational, that it has to be 10 minutes?
Mhm.
That's all they told you?
Yes.
That was a good, you did